Welcome back to my channel. This is the first video I've done since last year actually, so Happy New Year to everybody. I just thought I'd quickly go over some of my sketchbooks and have a look and take you through those. Not my paintings, it's just a quick look at the sketchbooks that I do. So I'll turn the camera around and have a look. This is my big chunky one. And a lot of the sketches in here are of little mannequins that I set up just as very quick exercises. That one, for instance, 2 minutes. They're just warming up exercises. 2 minutes. I think that's a 2-minute one. So a lot of these are really just very quick exercises. I like doing them actually, and they do warm you up and quickly gets your hand-eye brain working together. That's a 2-minute one. Why are these pages not turning very good? Felt tip pens. So I use different things, pencils, quick sketch. What's that one? Graphic sepia pen. So they're all of the little mannequins that I do. So I've got quite a lot of these. So I'll quickly go through those. I've got a bit more detailed sketch. That's when I'm out and about. I love doing trees and ferns and things like that. So if I've got my sketchbook with me, I do things like that. What's this one? Oh, this was an idea for a painting. Actually, someone asked me to do a painting, so that was the idea for it. Actually, that says 20. Yeah, 20. So that's a quick sketch. Sometimes I go from one sketchbook to another without really sometimes finishing. I think I was doing some colour swatches there and there. Let's see what else is in here. There's all sorts. I keep bits and pieces. Often I put things in that might gives me ideas. Sharpening pencils. Hang on a minute, let's turn this around. I think I'm just doodling there. Trying out children arts, acrylic paint. I'm not quite happy with those, to be honest. So there's all sorts of things that go in my sketchbook. If they're just sat in front of me, shapes, just ideas, all sorts, to be honest. Things that I keep, nice things that I keep, ideas for paintings. It's an idea for a painting. Actually, that's a painting that I did about the unicorn. Noah's Ark, the unicorn. Raffle tickets, train tickets, tickets everywhere. Little sketch there. That's a more detailed sketch with a wash. Watercolour pencils. This is another one. Flowers. So as you can see, there's all sorts going on in this sketchbook. Just little ideas. Wild garlic, cowslips. I see dried flowers. I've stuck some things in there. Rose petals, dried flowers. All sorts going on really. There we are. So This is one of my sketchbooks. And I've got another one. Let's see. I've got several actually that I've been... Don't always finish them right at the end, but painting. Someone asked me to do a painting of Newquay Thistle Beach. There's a squirrel. That was the squirrel that came down onto the peanuts on the bird feeder. Naughty squirrel. There's a sketch I did, Brighter Days, by my friend Sarah, by Anne. She asked me to do a painting to do with snowdrops and the story behind. So I did that in my sketchbook. So as you can see, there's all sorts in here. Ideas. Just little sketches of things that take my fancy. There's a very detailed sketch. That's of the Bruton dovecot in the distance. But the thing that caught my eye was the birds on the chimney. And that's what I wanted to draw. So I sat drawing that one afternoon. That was really nice to do that. Often I study birds as they come down into the garden, if I'm sat in the garden. There's another little one. I think this is just me doodling. I think this is another doodle. So as you can see, this is just full of all sorts, really. I like working in my sketchbooks a lot, actually. This one here, let's have a look. Oh, one day I was just watching the telly and I just started drawing the faces that came on. These are all chefs. It was from a cooking programme. Nigella Lawson's there somewhere. Yeah, there she is, but I won't point her out because actually it's not very good. Just sketches. Seagull sketches, I love doing. Lilies. Another seagull, this is one out. Sat on the coast. This is quite an empty book, actually. Yeah, let's see what's at the back here. I was doing some samples from leaves, and that particular green is the sap from a dock leaf, which I quite like. So I'm going to try and use a bit more things like that because I'm quite interested in making my own colours up. Let's start at the beginning of this. Sometimes I work back to front. It's just a quick sketch of Fingerhoe Wick Nature Reserve Park. This is all the details of it. So I did quite a lot of, that's the estuary and the birds, trees. And this is beach sketches or outdoor sketches. Sketch my sister in my garden. Just little sketches. They're really very, very quick sketches. The Detectorist I saw on the beach. I love that programme. I like to watch the Detectorist on the telly. These are all beach sketches. People sat around. Lots of I do them very quick because actually people do move around very quick on the beach walking past. Dogs. Lots of dogs. Kayaks. Cats. That's a little fantasy painting. I've got all these as well. this one. These are tiny, tiny ones that I slip in my handbag, take them with me. And I absolutely love picking up bits of seaweed. As you can see, it's got beautiful colours in that one. Very interesting to draw. Patterns of the sea. And then I just abbreviate the colours. So if I want to paint it, I can go back and just get my paints out and have a go. What's this? Crashing, frothy waves, foamy, bubbly surf. It's when I'm sat on the beach. Seagulls. Dark burnt umber. That was October. Patterns of the sea. Patterns from the sea. It's my idea of patterns from the sea. Flying high over Crowdy Reservoir. These birds, look. And I've got these little wild ponies down here. I don't know why that's upside down. Sat on the rock at Perrin Sands. There's barnacles. Crashing waves. I just make little notes of what's going on. Blue skies, low clouds, low flying seagull. There's another one. The seals, what did I write? Seals. Towan Beach, Godfrey Point. At the far end is the viewpoint where you can look down on the sea colony of seals. I think that should be seal colony, not sea colony. Wait a minute. Yes. Can't spell. Also the lighthouse. So I think somewhere I might have done a paint. Hello, what's that? Oh, it's my granddaughter's birds. And my granddaughter's dog. Surely I did the seagull, the sea lions. It might be in another sketchbook actually. So then I've just got little flower sketches. That's the end of that one. Let's have a look in this one. I went to the Henry Moore exhibition in Bruton. It was fantastic. So I bought this little sketchbook. This is a nice little sketchbook. This was done down in North Devon, Watermouth, the Regatta. And that was 10th of July last year. And as you can see, all the colours caught my eye. These are all the stall holders' tents, because it was like a lovely fete as well. We were sat down by the water looking towards the fete. So I just did this little sketch of the boat and the people. It was a really lovely day. Then I was experimenting. As you can see, there's a bit of a glaze over it. I was experimenting because this is watercolour. What I did was put a glaze of, I'm not quite sure, an acrylic glaze over there. I might have been trying out. This is a fun painting. This was the day I went down to Heel Beach in North Devon, and it was a really hectic day. People were out there with their kayaks, walking dogs, but as you can see, it was covered that day with jellyfish. The tide had gone out and left all these jellyfish everywhere. So I call it Jellyfish Day. And it was a bit of fun. I just put them everywhere. Jellyfish everywhere. This is looking out of Steve's garden, and on his bird feeder, that particular day, there was hundreds of birds keep coming backwards and forwards feeding. These are the little sparrows and these grapevines. So it must have been last summer. I was trying out some felt tip pens, I think. Yes, you can see. Sometimes it's nice to draw with felt tip pens. These are hollyhocks in Steve's garden. Beautiful colours. And the sky was beautifully blue that day. But I don't know if you can notice, I was trying out some new paints and they're acrylic pearlized. Can you see? And they were really beautiful. I love experimenting with those. So that was a nice day sketching. Here we have some more seagulls. Don't feed the seagulls. There's signs everywhere. In North Devon, there's signs everywhere saying do not feed the seagulls because they have started to attack people. And my sister had a nasty experience. One nearly got tangled in her hair. He was trying to, I think the reflection from her sunglasses on top of her head, he mistook for food and he was trying to grab them. And yeah, that was a very nasty experience for her. But I actually love them. And I think it's our own fault for feeding them chips in the past. And people chucking their chips everywhere. It's made them crazy for chips. This is a sketch for red hot poker. Red hot poker would look better if I put colours on because the colours are beautiful of those flowers. These are sketches that I really would probably put some wash over at some point. This is from Steve's pond. That's his frog that looks a little bit like a mouse there. He told me a strange story yesterday. He said it was thick of ice because we've had some very heavy frosty nights, and he found the frog was trapped under the ice. He had to gently lift the ice off and let him out. Because that frog that he's got in that pond is very, very old. He's had it a long time. This is on one of our walks. Sketch looking down towards Stour Head. This is a little painting I did of a little metal tin jug that I loved. Bought from my friend Joe's shop next door to Steve. And that's one of the lovely roses I've had in my garden. I enjoyed doing that. This is one Queen. The Queen died last year, as everybody knows. And I was imagining her going to heaven on her pony surrounded by all of her corgis. And I just came up with this vision and quickly sketched it down. And eventually I'd like to do that as a painting because I think it's quite a quirky painting and just a reminder of the death of our beloved Queen. And of course, this was part of the funeral parade I saw on telly. Just quickly jotted down some things. And when the coffin was in waiting and all the guards were stood around. So that was from that time when she died. I've got this other little sketchbook. I think this is my little holiday sketchbook I take because it's tiny, it's no bigger than my hand. And it's handy, you can just shove it in your bag. Take a little, I'll show you the paints I use. They're here somewhere as well. Just that little pencil case with my paints in, my little watercolour set. So that's what I take when I go out. This is the coastal path. Godfrey Point is further over to the right, and that's where the sea colony is situated, the one I was telling you about. So this is another sketchbook I've got from that holiday. Trelisic House. This is rather interesting view, actually. I haven't done it justice, but to me it's as good as a postcard because I've jotted down. The ferry goes across this silvery water. The waters was very still. There's a new marina being built up here. As you can see, I've jotted down colours as well. If I wanted to do that as a painting, I would be able to. When we were there at Crowdy Reservoir, this is Cornwall in England, if you're from afar watching this. The Canada geese had just arrived, so I quickly jotted those in the reservoir there. We sat and had some sandwiches there one day. It's really interesting. I was able to do quite a nice little sketch. As I say, I can do that as a painting at a later date. This is the same scene, but further over. There's lots of mushrooms and toadstools there that day. A lot of them was magic mushrooms, and we saw some youngsters collecting them. So this is the seal colony, Godrevy Point, excuse me, not saying it right. And we were watching them. They are quite a long way from us, but you could hear them snoring, so I put Tawan Beach, snoring seals. This is where the grey seals colony is. Also, we could go to the viewpoint, stand across the top there and look down on them. And you have to be very quiet. Keep quiet, please. The seals are asleep. The viewpoint. Seals this way. It's a cold and very windy day. It was freezing. So this is the little, well, actually not little, they're massive, but they were a long way down. So oblivious really to us, although it looks like we're not far away there. This is the mushrooms at Crowdy Reservoir. It's interesting, I put a little pixie on one there. The magic mushrooms. Also, I like drawing leaves, acorns, oaks, sycamores. It's nice to do, you know, when you find the leaves from trees. It's interesting to find out what they are. So I make little notes of them in this little sketchbook, so I know in future. Trees, silver birch, ash, horse chestnut, ducks, the mallard ducks on the pond, more mallard ducks, the seagulls, flying seagulls with jelly-type legs. That makes me laugh when I look at that. I don't know why I drew those legs, sketched those legs like that. Could never walk on them. And this is some sketches I did of my orchid. It's an orchid, that's it. I've never had an orchid before. I'm fascinated by the way it grows, the leaves, the flowers, how it grows, the colours. And it has like a little face inside. I haven't done it justice with the colour, by the way, because it was much more vivid pink. So yeah, I enjoy doing. That's something that was in the house. I'd probably sat and did one day if it was a rainy, wet, cold day. I'm not going out. Just do something I've got in the home. Oh, this must be the end of October because look, I've got pumpkins here. Hello. Pair of shoes. Actually, I think that was from a card someone sent me. I just thought they're nice little shoes. Well, high heel shoes. Okay. So now I've got, hang on, I've got a problem now, I can't keep the pages. So this is another sketch. The tide coming in. Do you know, I'm trying to work out where this is. I can't remember. I didn't jot down where it is, but it must be down in Cornwall because I would know if it was in Devon. Oh, we went to the zoo, the Exmoor Zoo one day. These are the lions. Hornbill. Wildlife, Martin Wildlife Park, that's where it is. And we've got some little birds that my little granddaughter drew. And is there anything else? Oh, that was from, my sister lives down in the harbour. When I go down there, sometimes we have a cup of tea, and I love looking at the boats outside. So there's a couple of sketches. 5-minute sketch at Morteau. It was sunny but cold. You can't really tell what's going on there. But I'd like to say hi to my mum and dad, who the ashes are scattered down there. So I think that's what that was all about. Okay, I'll show you this one last because that's one of the last ones. Let me show you this one. This is, I like going around gardens and nurseries and garden centres and stately gardens, and then I started designing my own garden. So these are little designs that I did for a garden. Just ideas I thought. They don't make much sense. Herb garden, bay tree and pot, rosemary. This is stonework, some sort of crazy stone, and a pagoda. So that's what that's all about. This is like a herb garden, Canarian oven. More little designs. Heligan garden, there was a sculpture made up of, it was massive, it was made up of charcoal. So I picked a piece of the charcoal up and actually drew the actual charcoal sculpture. That's Heligan, the Lost Heligan Gardens. Let's see if there's any more. Helston Garden, what's that there? Diligence is the mother of good luck. That's something I picked up from a fun fair. Now this is also part of the Lost Gardens of Heligan, or Helston Gardens down in Cornwall. It's near the Heligan Gardens actually. Crazy stickman sketch of people, seagull, waves and a dog. That's quite an old sketch actually. Adam and Eve and Satan. Whatever made me do that, I don't know. Now someone asked me to do it. So they sat on the apple. There's the serpent. Anyway. Not sure what this is either. The Three Marys, I think it's about. Mary Magdalene. Just some idea. Not sure what this is. Just messing around with colour, I think. Now let's have a look at the back here. Stour Head, down at Stour Head. Beautiful gardens if you get a chance to go down to Stour Head. I go there all the time, I love it. Now, this little sketchbook. given to me as a Christmas present. So it's beautiful leather, and it's made handmade, and it's all handmade papers. This is a bird my granddaughter did. We're just messing around in there. So I was in the Canaries at Christmas. That's December 22. That's opposite my family's house. And of course, the palm trees. I did lots of, wait a minute, I'm going to put that on there. I did lots of palm tree drawings. Crazy palm trees. This book's not playing games in today. By the way, I'm videoing this with my camera in my hand, so that's why it's not as successful as I would like it. So that's some of my sketchbooks I've been working in. And my sister bought me this beautiful Talon sketchbook. I've just started this. This was as a Christmas present. She gave me some felt tips, so I was trying them out. I just doodling. I did a cat doodle page. And this is something I started sketching. It's a view from my front room, actually. I do it when I'm just sat in the other room, gazing out the window. So that's something I start. I couldn't find a pen or pencil, so I just used a biro. So this is the biro drawing, and I quite like it. The only thing about the biro pen is they're very thin. They're not... A fine liner pen is my main pen that I like to sketch with. But, and they're nice. They're just the right thickness to hold comfortably in your hand. But the biro is a little bit thin, but I like the marks that you get from the biro. Anyway, at some point I'm going to try and finish that. There's a little bit more to do here. So that's it with my sketchbook work at the minute. I'll show you some paintings at a later date. I just thought I'd catch up with everybody, and this is my first video of the year. Thank you for watching.